Thank you, Todd. You know, it's great to be back here in the Mecca of boxing. Top Rank actually was organized in 1970. Prior to that, we had other companies, but in December of 1970, we did our first fight, and it was here in this building between the great Muhammad Ali and an Argentinian fighter, Oscar Bonavena. And it was a great, great fight, and it was thrilling to do a fight here in Madison Square Garden. And that was followed in short order by the two great Ali Frazier fights. The first one stopped the country in its tracks. The second one also sold out Madison Square Garden. And then 10 years later, a fighter from New York, who was the junior middleweight champion, Davey Moore, late Davey Moore, asked me to do a fight with him in Madison Square Garden. And I acceded to that request and matched him against Roberto Duran. And we weren't, and this was after the No Mas and Duran wasn't as popular, etc. And we weren't selling a lot of tickets. And so I asked a friend of mine who worked for Spanish television named Carlos Barba, did he have any suggestions how I could sell tickets? And he said, you know something, you're an idiot. Do all of the ads in Spanish, which we did. And we sold out Madison Square Garden. There wasn't one seat left. So poor Davey was fighting in his home city, and 95% of the audience spoke Spanish and was rooting for his opponent, Roberto Duran, who proceeded to knock out Davey Moore and won the junior middleweight title. And you know, in my era, every great fighter wanted to fight here in Madison Square Garden. Marvelous Marvin Hagler fought here. Ray Boom Boom Mancini was just with me in Macau and said one of the greatest nights of his life was when he fought here in Madison Square Garden. Every great fighter, Oscar De La Hoya, fought a fight here in Madison Square Garden. And of course, Madison Square Garden became the home for the great Miguel Cotto, who fought here so many times. So it's wonderful to be doing this fight now. Miguel Cotto fighting once again in Madison Square Garden against a young man, one of the great champions of our era, who's gonna have the opportunity to shine here in the Mecca of boxing, Sergio Martinez. So this fight, again, continues the great tradition of Madison Square Garden, the Mecca of boxing. And all New Yorkers should be very, very proud that you have this wonderful edifice here in your city, which has provided such great entertainment and done so much for the sport of boxing. Thank you.
Everybody to be here, sponsors, HBO, Top Rank, Bella Boxing, Samsung Boxing, and it's not really much to say, you know. I just looking forward to start my camp, looking forward to train as hard as I can each day, and being here on June 7th just to become the first Puerto Rican to be a champion in the 4th different division. I want to say, Sergio, luck in your camp. Try to do your best. I'm going to do my best. And at the end of the road, the winners are going to be the fans. Thank you to be here.
I'm not going to say a whole lot because there's not a whole lot that has to be said about this fight. HBO pay-per-view, the best. The Mecca of boxing, the greatest room in sports, Madison Square Garden. My good friends, Dave Howard, Joel Fisher, Sal, all you guys, great. Top Rank, and pure professionals. Miguel Cotto, a first ballot Hall of Famer. and a fine representative of the sport. Miguel Martinez, the best guy, the best human being, and one of the greatest fighters I've ever had the pleasure of promoting. And a great fight where the outcome is in doubt. Miguel said it, the winners on June 7th will be the fans. This is what boxing is all about. There are a few people on Sergio's team I'd like to bring up to say a couple of words. First, a young man that's been with Sergio for a long time, his business manager, a wonderful guy, Miguel Cotto. To introduce the WBC middleweight champion of the world, Sergio Martinez.
I want to thank you HBO pay-per-view on Top Rank and Divela Entertainment and Samson Lukovic and Miguel de Pablos and the WBC Jose Suleiman and Mauricio Suleiman, and I want to thank you Miguel Cotto and our team, and now I speak in Spanish because I am Latin. Right. Bueno, quiero dar las gracias a todos primero por estar aquí presente.
Thank you all for being here present today.
Perdonen la voz que tengo un poquito mal. Estuve cantando mucho.
I was singing a little.
Quiero contarles una cosa. Vamos a pelear el 7 de junio. Vamos a hacer una gran pelea y ese día, como dijo Miguel Cotto, no vamos a ganar solamente Cotto y yo. Va a ganar también el público.
I will tell you all
fanáticos.
that we're going to have a great fight that day, and like Mr. Miguel Cotto said, the fans are going to be the winners of this event.
Pero quiero que no se olviden de algo.
Don't forget one thing.
Vamos a pelear
You're going to fight
porque yo que soy el campeón
because I am the champion,
subo primero al ring y no último, porque si no Cotto no peleaba.
and I'm coming into the ring first, and he's coming in second. Otherwise, there will be no fight.
Voy a ir al rincón azul, aunque soy el campeón, me da exactamente igual. Me da exactamente igual aunque soy el campeón, porque si no Cotto no peleaba.
He says, I go to the blue corner, and I really don't care because I'm the champion. If it wasn't for that, then we won't fight.
Me van a presentar primero en el ring, aunque yo sea el campeón, porque si no Cotto no peleaba.
I will be introduced first in the ring because if it wasn't that way, Cotto would not fight.
Me imagino que el 7 de junio va a pedir un camino de pétalos de rosas hacia el ring, si no Cotto no va a pelear.
I can imagine on June 7th he's going to ask for rose petals, otherwise he won't walk into the ring.
Ese 7 de junio se acaban las excusas, se acaban las tonterías. Ese 7 de junio voy a ganar yo. Va a ganar Argentina. Muchas gracias.
No more excuses. On June 7th, I'm going to win. Argentina.